So as I promised, this week I'm going to be talking about AI and how I'm using it in my new brokerage. You will be shocked to know that I've already hired 5 high-level executives that are helping out immensely with my business. And the total payroll for all 5 of these guys is $240 a year. So if you're curious about how I did this and how you can do it to help out your business or your own lifestyle, stay tuned. So as I talked about in the intro, for my new business here, I am relying a lot on AI. And I know a lot of people are scared of AI and they're not sure if they should use AI, but I think it's awesome. It's the greatest thing ever. And I probably wouldn't be as far along with my new business as I am now because of AI. So, if you have a problem with it, just hear me out, and you can see how it can help you. What I'm about to show you, I've made so it's available to anybody that wants it, and I'll tell you how you can get it later on. But I named it Exec Sync, Executive Sync. So I have 5 executives that, they're virtual people, but I created it so each position takes after the most famous people in the world that have had that position. Like general manager, I took the head of Apple and IBM and others and combined them into the greatest GM of all time. And then marketing director, I did the same thing. And then I have a creative director, a master copywriter who I based on the most famous copywriting people that have ever lived. And then a data analyst, same thing. So I've created all these people, so now they're basically on my team. And I know this all sounds weird, especially if you're new to AI, but just hear me out. And I'm going to go through, an example here how I've used it. So I just pretended I had a landscaping company and I said, can you make a plan for my landscaping business to generate $100,000 this year? And then each person, the way I set this up, I want it like it's a staff meeting. So each person chimes in with their ideas. So the GM has his ideas, the marketing director, everybody comes up with ideas. The copywriter, um, he talks about some different taglines and things you can use for advertising. The data guy talks about, how to track everything and your cost per leads and customer lifetime values and all of that. Then they break it down into a summary of what each of them said. And then it'll ask you, do you want me to turn this into a detailed week by week action plan? And I say, yes, make an action plan. And then it in a separate link, it made this whole action plan that's right here. And then at the bottom they summarize it. Here's your detailed 12-month action plan to reach 100,000, on and on. And then I say my company is called Montana Greens. Could you all discuss the name and if you have a better idea? And then they think about it, and then they all come back with their answers, and they have different ideas, and it's unbelievable what you can do with this. Um, and you go through, and they all have their ideas and ways they think it should be done. And then at the end, they summarize everything and give you recommendations. And, I'm not going to go through all this. I could be on here for 2 hours. Then I said, they came up with different names, and one of them was Montana Greens Landscaping. And they tell you the pros and cons of each name. So then they give you the next steps you should take. And let us know which name stands out to you, and then we can explore logo ideas. So I said, let's go with Montana Greens Landscaping, make me a logo. And then boom, it kicks out a logo. And all of this would have cost an unbelievable amount of money, even just a year ago. And you can do this in 5 minutes. And so I've been spending tons and tons of time with this particular GPT that I created. And I will leave a link in the show notes for you to get your own or this exact one. And obviously, it'll be your own. It's not going to have any of this on here. It's just for you. They're all private, but it's the setup is what I did and it's what I use. So if you like this, like I said, I've been using the heck out of it every day. I get on it in the morning and just start asking it questions. And it's a little freaky when you think about it, but I just showed you what it can do. And there's other AI I use as well. So I use probably five different AI platforms all the time. ChatGPT being one of them that I use a ton because I've created this GPT, it's called. It basically it's, my assistant and five people that are my assistants. So this next one is called Notebook LM, and it's a Google product, and it is free if you have a Google account, which everybody does. You can just go to type in, on Google Notebook LM. This will pop up. You can sign up. Again, I'm not going to go through all of that part. If you guys are interested, I was thinking about doing kind of a class on some of this stuff. If people are interested, leave it in the comments if you are. The cool thing about this that I use it for a lot because I deal with covenants, and some of these subdivisions have 150 pages of covenants. So I sold a house to a guy a few months ago. It's called Rosewater Loop, and it's a water skiing community. And so they have all kinds of rules. So the covenants are, I don't know, like 150 pages. So what I did is I uploaded them over here, and then it goes in, and then you can ask it questions. Because the reason I did this is we went for the showing, and my client was asking me all these questions about his dogs and can he plant trees and can he swim in the pond, in the water ski lake, and all that. So I just uploaded all the covenants, and you can ask it questions. I said, "Can I swim in the lake?" And then it just pulls all the rules that you needed out of that 100 and some pages, and it even gives you where exactly to find it in the covenants if you want to go to exactly that spot. But it answers your questions straight out of the covenants. Can I swim in the lake? Can I have dogs? And then it goes through all the rules about dogs. Can I build a shop? Goes through all the rules about, building a shop. So just an incredible thing. The other cool thing about this that you can use, and none of the other platforms do this yet that I know of, but what this one is most famous for, if you want to say that, is it'll create a podcast. So if you like listening to podcasts, like when you're working out or working in the yard, mowing the lawn, whatever, and you like podcasts, you can create your own podcast. And what I mean by that is you can come in here and start your own, chat that they call it. And you can, start a brand new one so it's not the covenant. So you start a brand new one, you upload five news articles about whatever you're interested in. Maybe they're sports results or sports stories, or you could upload, magazine articles, newspaper articles, whatever about what you're interested in. And then you come over here and hit generate for this deep dive conversation, and it'll create like a 15-minute podcast based on all of the information you just uploaded. This is kind of freaky because it's so good. These two people just sit there and they sound like real people, and they'll chat about what you uploaded. What I did one time just to try it out is I uploaded all of my YouTube video analytics, and I wanted to see what it would sound like. And I hit generate, and sure enough, they sat and talked about my videos and what was working, and how I did them, and the amount of views, and on and on and on, just from the data that I showed on or uploaded into this thing. So Notebook LM is another great one that I use all the time. The next one that I use is Claude, and Claude is really good at writing. So I use it to help with my newsletters each week. You can use it. We helped our daughter write her resume with it, but if you're trying to write something, Claude is the platform to use because it's for whatever reason, they all have their things they're better than the others at. There's not one that does everything perfectly. That's why I'm showing you all these different ones that I use. But Claude, like I said, it's very good at writing. So I took I took info from another one. I'll skip to that one now. That's called Perplexity. And Perplexity is very good at researching the web. So I typed into Perplexity, can you research my Living in Montana YouTube channel and tell me how I can get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year? Look around at the entire state of Montana for other real estate posts or videos. And, just that's what I put in there. And it just gave me this full report. Like, here's my channel versus the other ones in Montana. And it broke down how I can get to 100,000 subscribers. And it talked about different video ideas I can do to get there and all of that. And then it gives you, it makes files with checklists and content strategy and it's just subscriber growth plan file that it created. But anyway, what I did is I took this summary of this and put it back into Claude over here, and it created and I said, use this summary about my YouTube channel and create a blog that I can put on my website. And that's that's this blog right here. And it's a very well written. I mean, it looks like a newspaper article that it just cranked out in, 2 minutes, not even, once I uploaded this stuff. So, like I said earlier, all this stuff I've been using to help with my business, I'd be happy to help you guys out. Leave comments in the or on the video if you'd like, if you have questions or if you'd like me to do more classes on this. Again, if you want to get that GPT that I showed you at the beginning with the 5 different executives, I'm going to leave a link for that in the show notes. You can have it for yourself. As long as you have ChatGPT, you can get this GPT from me and use it on your own computer. So I hope this all helps. I hope you guys try out some of this stuff. And I'm glad you got to meet my 5 employees. And I'm sure I'll be talking more about this in the future.
Thank you for watching our video. Please call, text, or email for more information, and don't forget to watch our other videos about Montana.